All right. Hello, everybody. So for those of you who stumbled upon this who are not in my class, this is not an Emacs video, although I will be using, well, actually, maybe not be using Emacs in this one, but in the next one I will. This is for my teacher certification class. And for those of you in that class, hi. As you know, we're not having an asynchronous session this week due to parent conferences. So there's going to be a couple of videos, and I'm going to add to that the async assignment, and it's basically going to be about setting up a website. And so this video is just going to be setting up GitHub to host a site for you. And then the next video will talk about making the site a little bit cooler looking. All right, so to start with, you can do this in a repo, and if you already have a repo, that's fine. But if not, you can always make a new repo. So I'm going to do that here. I'm on GitHub, and I'm just going to click on New, and I'm going to call it Web Demo Fall 2021 with all those dash. The name doesn't matter. It's got to be public. You want it to be public. And you definitely want to do this at a README file. It's going to make it easier for you in terms of setting things up. It'll just set everything up for you. So once again, new repo, any name you want, public, add a README. And then we can just create the repo. All right, so that's step one. Now the next thing you want to do is go to settings. So over here, settings. And if you scroll down here, there's a section for GitHub pages. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose a source. And my source is going to be the main branch. I'm going to leave this as root, and then I'm going to click on save. And that's it. Now, this is going to be where it'll be published. So this is the website I'm going to go to. So now I'm going to just open up this again. I'm just going to forget this link, but I'm going to open this up in a new tab. And so now I can start putting web files here. And the basic file for a website is an HTML file, hypertext markup language. And it's just a text file with stuff in it. And so we're going to, in the next video, we're going to do this from the local machines, but you can do all of this right on GitHub. So let's say you have a brand new repo, and we're going to make a new file. So we can click on new file, and we'll call this demo1.html. And an HTML file is a very simple file. The first line you'll start is going to be doctype HTML, and then you're going to have HTML, and then at the end, the closing tab /HTML. And you put your web stuff between it. And it's basically, you can just put plain stuff in here like hello world. And then I'll come down here and save it, commit it. I should type in the stuff there. And now we have a website. Now to get to this, what we're going to do is we're going to, well, I'm just going to open this in a new tab, and you'll see it doesn't find anything because the file name here is demo1.html. So I'm just going to go up here, and I'm going to add to this demo1.html, and it's not found. And it's still not found. And this might take a minute or two to do this. I'm just going to click back into here while we're waiting. Okay, and there, it just takes a little bit of time. And that's hello, and that's a website. Not fancy, but it's a website. And basically, though, to make a website work, though, you have to give it markup. You have to give it instructions to say what things will look like. Otherwise, it's just going to give you this plain text. So I'm going to click here to edit this file. And basically, the way it works is you just have special text markers. So if I want to make this a header or an H1, I can put this inside that. And so it's just the H1 in the angle brackets is starts the, that's the starts the tag, and the slash ends it. And if I have a subtitle, I can be H2. That should be a little bit smaller, a subtitle. And then you can have this is some text on multiple lines, and you'll see what happens when we do this. And now if we save this, and then we come back to here, and we reload it, and again, it's going to take a little bit of time to redeploy, so hopefully not too much time. And I'm shift reloading because that's supposed to not give me the cached version. And okay, we'll give it like 10 seconds and then I'll reload it. And if not, I will move on to something else and then we'll come back. Let's do it in a private window just to see. Oh, we still haven't done it. All right, so that's still taking its time. So I want to show something else with this in the meanwhile, which is you can also do things in subdirectories. So I'm going to create another file, and we'll have this in subdirectory, and we'll call this demo2.html. And this one, same basic idea, doc type HTML, 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 slash HTML, and we'll just say h1. This is in the subdirectory h1. And now we can save this. And let's reload this page here. And there we go. It just takes a little bit of time. That's hello world, subtitle. And then notice the text on multiple lines isn't on multiple lines though, because that's how HTML works. It wraps it all up. And I'll show you how to deal with that in a second. But first, let me show you, well, let's do this in demo 2. Let's edit this file. And if we want to have separate lines, like this is line 1, this is another line, we can break this up with, we can say that this should be a paragraph. And this should be another paragraph, for example. Now let's go to that website. And that website is in the subdirectory. And then the file name is, I think it was demo2.html. And it is, but it hasn't quite yet rendered this other stuff yet. It hasn't rendered the this more code with this is line 1, this is another line. So let's go back to here, give it a second. And might as well fix this while we're waiting. Sort of subdirectory, and then there are others as well. So for example, BR is another way to put in a line break, and HR is to put in a horizontal rule. And let's see if this has rendered yet. Not yet. It's going a little slow today. So we're just going to wait for this. But then there's just like tons of other things. So there are these markdown things to make things bold, in order to make lists, to make tables, to do form input, all that other stuff, all that good stuff. And what we're going to do is, as soon as this renders, there we go. So notice, like, this is line 1, this is another line. So it rendered the second one, but we're now still waiting for this third one. But basically, this is all you need to do. And there we go. And so notice that the paragraph puts more space between it, but the BR puts less space between it. And then the HR is a horizontal rule. And so here we've made a website where we've got these two files, one in the root directory called demo1, one in the directory called subdirectory called demo2.html. We can go to them with our web browsers from anywhere on the internet, and that's all you have to do. So we're going to stop this video, keep it kind of short, about 10 minutes, and then the next video we're going to talk about some of that HTML markup, the actual specific commands you can use for HTML. And then what we're also going to do in a third video, we'll talk a little bit about making it look better. All right. And I'm just trying to break these down because different ones of you, some of you have done this before, some of you haven't. You can kind of, so it's not just one monster video to keep track of. All right. So we will be back soon with the next part.